right, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Wednesday edition. I'm Sal. He's Joe House. The other he is Anthony Dabbundo. So much to talk about in the sports world. You guys have 2 or 3 hours to spare, House? I know you have to pack for the Ryder Cup, but I mean, there's just too much.
Well, the beautiful thing is that it's Wednesday and nothing happens in the sports world on Wednesday. So here
Oh,
we
that's
are.
right.
We're
Yeah.
filling that space. That's what we're here for, cuz.
Right. Okay.
You
But we
say
do
that
have,
now.
yeah.
Next week we got wild card baseball, weekday afternoon ball. I don't know. It's not always true.
Let's go.
Even now we have college to talk about, football. We have the Thursday night football game we'll get to in a second. Ryder Cup, as I mentioned, with House. Baseball playoffs, Dabbundo staring us right in the face. People are saying this is the best sports week of the year. It is the best sports week of the week. There's no doubt about that. But of the year, because of the Ryder Cup and baseball playoffs coming up, I'm not pulling the trigger on that. I don't know. I like it more when the baseball playoffs are actually are going. And like you said, Dabbundo, we have day baseball. Meaningful day baseball is the best.
Well, it can't be the best sports week of the year for betting if there's literally nothing happening besides the regular calendar on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Today.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Okay.
We have one event that's cool this week, Ryder Cup.
Right.
Other than that, it's like a normal sports week. I don't know. First weekend of March Madness exists.
Yeah.
Baseball playoffs exist. Champions League exists if you're into that kind of thing, which I know most people aren't, but it does exist.
Right. This is the Ringer Gambling Show presented by FanDuel, and the NFL is officially back. So if you're going to be in it with FanDuel. They've got the goods, futures, live betting, SGPs, your way bets, all of it. The app's clean, it's fast, and yeah, when you win, you get paid instantly, which is nice because Sunday patience doesn't exist. So get your bets in, build something bold, and make every game feel bigger. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. The Ringer is committed to responsible gambling. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available, and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Paid endorsement. You know what also exists? Our Ringer 107 results.
Sure?
Simmons has pitted the 5 Ringer Gambling shows against each other, and it is not good for everyone on this podcast right now. Dabbundo, you and I are 6-9 after 3 weeks. That's tied somehow for second place, I think. I don't know, but House and Simmons, you guys are 5-10. What do you have to say for yourself? You're in the bottom.
Nothing. There's nothing to say. We're 3 weeks in, and fortunately there are 15 to go. So
okay,
that's my comment.
All right. Well, so you don't think you're officially eliminated? I guess technically you're not eliminated, but from this thing, yeah. When first place is also under 500.
Yeah, every group is terrible at this. So
yeah, that's true. This is a great experiment, Bill.
I would venture to say that this pod or this, all of us have been on some similar sides. I think 3 shows had Baltimore week 1, which was a hilarious collapse. Then there was multiple shows had Arizona last week, including us. And then the Rams. I mean, the Rams were like the ultimate kick in the nuts. So I'm not trying to be like that guy who's like, oh, we've run really bad. But
I thought there was another one too, Dabbundo. Ravens week 1, obviously awful. You didn't think it was going to get worse than that. 40-25 with like 5 minutes left. They couldn't hold the lead. And then here come the Eagles against the Rams. That is going to be almost impossible to top the way that ended up, plus 3.5. And then we had, and House, you had them too, San Francisco over Arizona. Is that what you're talking about? The -1.5?
No, I meant Arizona week 2, backdoor Bryce.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
27-3.
All right.
So
I mean, really, if we just wanted to make it a bet ache conversation and a bet ache show, that's far easier. That's a much.
Should we just rename it Bet Ache 107? Like, because these are the 107 games that are just
so then we flip it. Simmons and I are 10-5 in Bet Ache 107. Yes, that's
at least
the answer. We did.
So I'll put it this way: we didn't parlay the Falcons last week.
Yes, that's true. Wait, we didn't? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah.
And they won't let us do totals. You know, one of the beauties of doing content is that if you're in enough different like little competitions, you can just kind of pick the one that's doing well.
Sure.
So I'm ignoring that we're 6-9 in the Ringer 107. I'm highlighting 3-0 Sunday best bet wise wagers. All the same bet for me. I'm 3-0.
He just plays the Texans under every week, which is a very sensible betting strategy. But the more important thing, coming from a guy who's touting like giving out lots of betting options to everybody, are you gonna give us a bet for Thursday night this week?
Yes, let's. Why look back when you could look forward? Yeah, that House brings it up. You were almost fired, Dabbundo, for you. I mean, we put our picks in the outline, and you said pass, and I was like, oh, that's funny. He's being funny, but no, he would not give a pick on Buffalo, Miami. Yes,
to be
but
fair,
that's a good.
I did give a pick. Tua threw an interception. We cashed.
That was a prop. Yeah,
that wasn't.
That was a prop.
Yeah. It was insubordination, except for it was insubordination. We're not going to stand for it. You only get one strike.
I'm now fearing my next performance review.
He does have a pick slotted in. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he does an about face here, House. But let's talk about this game. The Cardinals opened up as a 1.5 point favorite. That's the tic-tac line. It is tic-tac the other way. Seattle, the road team, is now the 1.5 point favorite. I guess the lines, I picked Seattle -1.5. Simmons says Arizona 1.5. He gets credit for it. Am I going to approach the FCC with something like this? Probably, yes. But let's just move with this. 2-2-1 teams, both lost to San Francisco. Both, if you look at their updated wins projection, it's 8.5. But I think people view Seattle as the more balanced team. House, hit us first with your analysis and your pick for this game.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all to have seen this thing flip. I mean, it flipped quite quickly. If memory serves, I mean, it was basically Sunday night into Monday morning, and the look ahead was Arizona laying 2.5, and I think the combination of that recency bias from how the teams looked on Sunday, but really on balance over the course of the season, Arizona's inability to do anything on offense has been a storyline for them. Their offensive line has regressed in terms of run blocking, and now James Conner is out. And I think that, as much as anything, played a big part in why this line jumped the line the way that it did. The other aspect of this is, the thing that's been consistent between these two teams is the Seattle Seahawks defense, who have not allowed more than 17 points in a football game yet this season. That's pretty good. So I think this is a situation where points will be at a premium. I don't like the short week for Arizona getting their offensive line woes figured out, especially in the absence of James Conner. So it feels like an under kind of situation for me, and I have a specific play in that direction.
Go ahead. Now's the time.
Yes, now's the time. Cardinals team total under 21.5. It's -120 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Mentioned how good that Seattle defense has been. And the Cardinals just have these woes that don't look like they can get fixed in time for this game against this defense. So I am playing under 21.5.
All right. Dabbundo, you agree with House that points will come at a premium, and you're going under for the whole game. Yeah, but more importantly, you're making a pick, which is
I'm taking a stand. I'm
very
placing
heroic.
a wager.
Thank God.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the TNF schedule. I'm a little concerned that if we get to week 8 and it's the worst game you've ever seen, and I have no opinion, I might have to pass again. I'm gonna have to start getting really creative to keep my job safe here. But I like the under 43.5. Bet it this morning. I don't like the matchup for the Seattle offense necessarily either. I think that what House said about the Arizona offense, I'll repeat, they've been one of the worst run offenses. Run block win rates have been really ugly. I mean, some of their O-line's been banged up too. I think that could be contributing to this. And then without Conner, Conner was getting them a good amount of yards after contact. They're not going to get that with as much with Benson. So I don't like this matchup for their offense. And both defenses are really good at taking away explosives. If you go back to last season, both teams were in the top 10. So far this season, both teams are top 10 in explosive play rate allowed. So they're just not giving you those big home run balls. And I thought, honestly, last week, given how limited they were, Arizona did a really nice job of forcing San Francisco to be methodical. Yes, San Francisco moved the ball. They got into the red zone. They kept turning it over, yada, yada. But for the most part of that game, Arizona was able to keep a lid on that offense. And I think if they're able to do that here, like Darnold, so much of the Seattle offense comes from the big plays that they've gotten. And if you go look back, I know they scored 110 points last week, but Seattle, their first 4 possessions was they blocked a punt, they had a punt return touchdown, and they had a kick return to the New Orleans 30. That was 3 of their 4 first half touchdowns. So the field position was insane.
Right.
It seems pretty hard to repeat.
Yeah. I'm going to, first of all, I scanned the Thursday Night Football schedule for you. And can I pencil you in for a pass on week 11 when the Jets travel to New England and both teams are seeking their first victory? I don't know. Can I?
Let's all pass.
Let's all pass on that.
America can pass.
Thursday, November 13th. There you go. Yeah, I'm going against you guys a little bit here. I have Seattle over, so I'm thinking there's going to be points, at least from one side. I probably should just take Seattle minus the 1.5, but the over point total served me well last week with Miami, so I'm going to go with it again. I lost a point here. It was 21.5 when I input this into the outline. It's 22.5 now. Somehow they're 8-1, the Seahawks, straight up on the road under McDonald. That's pretty damn good, unless I read it wrong. They are second in the league in pass rush win rate. They kind of do everything right. They pressure the quarterback. They're stopping the run. Their run defense has been great. Like I said, 3.2 yards per carry. They're first in the NFC in interceptions. It all amounts to good field position, Dabbundo, as you mentioned. And they've averaged 37.5 points over the last 2 games. So I just need 23 to hit my bet. Road win for the Seahawks. I'll say 29-19. I know you love the score, Dabbundo. Let's
I don't love that score. That'd be too many.
No, I know. That's too many. Yes.
Well, it's well under 21.5.
How about 23-20 Seahawks?
I can't do that.
That's a winner for House.
Okay. All right. 23-20.
All 3 of us win.
House player props. This guy you're talking about should be spoken about more. They should be singing his praises on mountaintops. Go ahead. Give us a wide receiver player prop for this game.
Yeah, it's Torrey Horton, Seattle. He has solidified himself as their solid number 3 receiver, pushing towards number 2. He's getting targets after week 1 was kind of a shutout. 4 targets in each of the past 2 games, a touchdown in each of the past 2 games. Exactly 32 receiving yards the past 2 games, which is very weird. But I'm just playing a very simple idea that he is getting an increased number of percentage of team receptions based on, sort of the implied number of completions. You look at what Darnold has on, on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now in terms of completions. If you just sort of look at the share of completions and yards, then he should get his share, and over 25.5 receiving yards at minus 114 feels like value to me.
I texted Danny Kelly during the preseason because I have a Seahawks fan friend who's been hyping Torrey Horton all training camp. And I'm like, are we buying this or not? And then he had a huge preseason game, and we were like, we're all in Torrey Horton. So yeah, I bet him to score plus 410. I mean, I don't love the betting anytime touchdowns in games where I think the total might be low.
Right.
But Horton is there, he's a good deep threat. He wins one-on-one, and he also is on the punt return unit. So maybe he'll house another punt return like he did last week.
So yeah, we're jumping around. That's plus 410 if you want that touchdown prop. I like it. Yeah. Is he in our various fantasy leagues? Is he available? He can't be, House, right?
I think he is. Like, I haven't seen his name on not in the
we got to race off.
Does anybody have him in the guillotine?
Race off this and pick him up for
I don't know the Seahawks third receiver. Does he make a fantasy squad?
Dabbundo, give us here's a good one. Oh, even odds. Wow, for Kyler interception.
Yeah, minus 110. We've seen this matchup now twice last year. The Seahawks defense had Kyler in hell. Both meetings. They could barely score in the first one. The second meeting, he had 2 picks, both in the first half. Seattle got short fields off that. And then this season, the Seahawks defense has forced 9 turnover-worthy plays in 3 weeks from the opposing quarterbacks, Purdy, Rodgers, Rattler. So, they have done an excellent job of using the pressure that they're getting, the simulated pressures that McDonald brings to generate turnovers and force turnover-worthy plays. So, if I think Arizona's playing from behind and they're forced to throw it down the field, Marv's never open, so he's got to force it into coverage against Marv, and then maybe I'll get a pick from that. So, yeah, minus 110. Kyler interception.
I like Marv as the nickname. As someone who can't grasp any first names anymore. That's good that you're
Mitsubishi Marv. They're calling him.
Mitsubishi Marv.
He used to be Maserati Marv, but he's been downgraded to Mitsubishi Marv.
How many quarterbacks are like Kyler? Maybe Kyler's not even in this class for you guys. I call it all right, well, you cut the shit and let us know what you are right now, quarterback. I feel like Kyler's in there. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is in there. I think you have to have at least 3 years under your belt. Would you guys would you put those two in that? Or like where you're
absolutely. Is CJ Stroud in there? Or
he's there. I think he's there. Getting there
he?
Or there.
Yeah, we could probably get to 5 guys if we talked it through. And
I thought maybe he's a little young to do that, but I guess you could do that, right? It's
he's in year 3, yeah.
Yeah, right. Is there anyone else?
Gino?
Yeah, I mean Gino's like getting back in there when we gave him too much. I feel like Darnold's out of it. Darnold's like got past it already, right?
He's out, right?
He's on the other side.
Above that too. I know he's only 13th in the Ruiz rankings, but
I'm furious about that. How's Ruiz rated Baker 13th? First of all, he lied to me.
I saw, and he said that he had Geno Smith above him, which is just hilarious. He's
by the way,
favorite.
we went back and looked. He's 16th in his ranking. He's not even 13th. So he lied to me.
Yeah. Maybe he was just so mad that you were so upset that he actually decided out of spite to lower them a couple points.
He was trying to get off. He was basically signing off. And I'm like, where do you have Baker? And he got scared and said, 13th. And then we went another 15 minutes. I mean, that's preposterous. I'm sorry.
Preposterous.
He's not 13th.
It's
playoff winning quarterback.
I mean,
yeah. All right, so Darnold, I sang his praises a little. How about this? 100 yards passing in each half is plus 180. Arizona faced, I was looking at the quarterbacks, Rattler, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, and allowed 826 passing yards. So that's an atrocious 30th in the league, behind only the Cowboys and the Ravens. So that's some bad football being played on defense in the secondary, especially. And defenses on Thursday haven't been great. If you look at it, the last couple of weeks, you have to get lucky that the game is close at half for this one to hit 100 yards in each half. But you get almost 2-1 of JSN, Cup, and Torrey Horton. Nice. Colorado State rookie. Nice waiver wire guy. If they do it, that's my prop. What's the matter, Dabbundo? What happened?
No, I'm just trying to. I feel like you threw a little snide there. You know, defenses haven't been very good. Me and House are out here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you have nothing to worry about, but I'm going to hit this bet.
All right, that's fine. No, 23-20. Darnold has like 50 passing yards on the final drive to set up the game-winning field goal. And after Torrey Horton takes a punt back in the first drive. Or maybe
we are
Torrey
threading
Horton
such a
walk-off
needle
touchdown.
Here. Yeah.
On a 26-yard reception.
Okay, that works, right? Because you have Horton for touchdown. You gave that out for first touchdown, right? Plus 410. No, anytime. Oh yeah. Oh wow. So what is he for first? Yeah. You got to look that up. You have to have first.
If he scores the first, then Horton, you actually bankrupt FanDuel. They go.
They don't know.
You get a 1% share.
You have to do both, even if it's $10-20. But
listen to your uncle, nephew Tony.
Your
uncle.
Plus 2,000.
I love a good first.
There you
prime
go.
time,
20-1.
Yeah, because you're going to be bummed
score?
if he scores the first touchdown. You're only getting 4-1 when you could have gotten 20. So put $7 on it. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm in.
House, you have an anytime touchdown prop.
Yeah, mine could be the game clinching touchdown for JSN. Hasn't been in the end zone since week 1. But Sam Darnold, when they get inside the red zone, only looks in one direction. It's at JSN. That's perfectly fine. Cards defensively, because of all the banged up action in their secondary, loading the box in that red zone. So they want Sam Darnold to throw that football, and JSN is the primary target. Plus 160, not enormous, but just trying to collect a couple W's here.
All right, that's fun. Kenneth Walker, same team, running back, first touchdown, plus 460. I told Tate about this yesterday. I had a dream that Kenneth Walker caught a screen pass and lumbered into the end zone early in the first quarter. Like Monday night, I had this dream about this Arizona-Seattle game. It went for about 30 to 35 yards, as I'm like recalling it now. That's the one problem about dreams. You don't have replay. And I don't know. They have to vote on that. We got to get replay in dreams.
Why are you dreaming about Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Why aren't you guys dreaming of Kenneth Walker?
Maybe that's why I'm 10-5 and the Ringer 107 headaches.
I had a dream that Bill called me into Zoom to fire me for passing on the Thursday night football game last week. So
is that true?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Because that would be very ironic. No. Yeah. So he's my pick for first touchdown. He's been hot lately. 3 touchdowns in 2 games. And let's make it a dream come true. And let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with Hump Day headlines. All right, Hump Day headlines. This is something I'm trying here. I'm going to read the headlines for Wednesday, and I'm going to put a stupid odds-based tidbit there, and I'm going to have you guys tell me which way you would want to go with this. It'll all make sense in a second. Now, you can't bet these on FanDuel, but Jaxson Dart was named the new New York Giants starting quarterback. House, first of all, your thoughts on that? Is this too early? Is this just the right time? What do you think?
My question is why? Like, I
Why not?
understand. Well, because what evidence is there that he's ready to play NFL football? I mean, I'm very confused by this Giants direction. It's been that way for half a decade, maybe longer. I don't think that Jaxson Dart saves Brian Daboll's job, but Brian Daboll must think that Jaxson Dart saves his job. And if he gets him out there now and gets any kind of positive performance out of him, then he becomes, it's a traditional familiar role for him, which is, new quarterback whisperer, I guess. He's the nurturer and the protector. So if the kid shows anything at all, then it protects Daboll. I guess that's the theory. But the goddamn Chargers are a truck. Yeah. And I know it's a road game for the Chargers, but there isn't anything about the Giants home situation that makes any team coming in there afraid of it. And the pass rush for the Chargers getting after Dart, I just picture this kid running for his life, and I don't understand why you would do it this week. That's it.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I also see why they would do it. I feel like okay, so for Daboll to keep his job, what did they have to go like 9-8? So he probably working backwards. He saw Russell Wilson, despite the great game against Dallas, said, "I'm not getting a 9-8 with this guy," right? And also the fans hate me right now and hate what's going on. My only hope, and it's a prayer, is that Jaxson Dart is great, and it probably won't be. So I think Daboll's looking to save his job. Dabbundo, what do you think?
Well, it's like House said, he doesn't think Jaxson Dart will be good and save his job, but if you're Daboll, you know that Russell Wilson isn't going to be good and save your job, right? So I feel like it's a decent bet. Do I think it's going to make a difference? Probably not. Like, remember when we have to go back to training camp and the Giants had all these good vibes, everybody's all excited. It's like, okay, sure, but wait till they lose a game or two. Right. Look stupid. And then you got Daboll out here running the field goal kicker punter out there for a 32-yarder which barely gets off. They get it blocked, and he stinks. And then he decides actually the kicker's okay, so he can go kick another field goal. Then they get down to the red zone. They bring in Dart for like these RPOs, but then he comes out of the game and the crowd's booing them at home because the whole thing has been so stupidly organized and run that it kind of it should make you question how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, the booing in New York is unavoidable, so I don't know, but also, the wrong people report on it. All right, well, so here's my dumb prop. Jaxson Dart, House, games started in the NFL -6.5 versus games remaining for Daboll as Giants head coach. It's a thinker.
Yes, I'm pondering. I'm scratching my chin. I think that the Giants, because of how stupid they are, they'll keep Daboll for the balance of the season. So I think that Daboll games remaining will exceed starts for.
Okay. All right. Dabbundo?
Oh, is that starts this year or career starts?
You know what? I think I had it as career starts. I don't know. I don't believe in this guy as much as everyone else.
Me neither. But if the Giants stink, if they're a top 5 pick team, would they draft a quarterback?
That's the rub, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
I think yes.
I think yes.
I'm a strong
too.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Daboll.
Wow. All right. This is the only podcast endorsing Daboll.
Daboll gets what, 14 more games?
Yep.
Dart would have to make 21 starts in his NFL career. Under.
Okay. Good way to analyze it. All right. Hey, Jason Tatum is returning. What did they say, House? He's going to be back middle of the year, maybe.
He's saying,
Yeah.
don't count me out. The reports inside the building, we have our sources, and then there's the whispers and all the rest, are that he is significantly ahead of schedule in terms of his recovery, and that he has been, to his credit, a physical specimen the past couple of years. He's really showed up. He put some size on up top, and he has tried to add to his game by getting stronger since they lost the NBA Finals in 2022. So I'm not that surprised to hear that, his like mindset and his body's ability to bounce back. We'll see whether or not he plays any games. It'll depend on the East and where the Celtics are, and there's too many variables out there to make a reliable guess as to whether or not he comes and plays games. But if they're within shouting distance, they should be, even with the talent that they have, in the 7 to 9 range in the East, without too much trouble. So if there's a window for them to like make a push to get inside the top 4, then I wouldn't be that shocked, to be honest with you.
Well, here's the bigger question that I posed to you, and I can't believe this hasn't happened already with the new news emerging about his health status. Over under 2.5 hours before Simmons, on a separate text chain, urges us to bet the Celtics to win the Atlantic, the East, the NBA Finals, and the NBA Cup.
Well, he and Zach Lowe did a bit taking a look at the Celtics on a podcast that I'll just, left hand up. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I mean, I had to get ready for this show, so I hedge my my guess until I've.
You know what? It's okay because you know what Simmons did to me. I don't know if you caught it on Sunday, and it's okay if you didn't listen to that either. But he asked me if I saw the throwback for the CBS. He's like, "Did you watch the CBS pregame show?" And I was like, "No, asshole. I do a pregame show on your network. Should we not be doing that? Should we be watching CBS?" I know you should probably not be watching CBS unless you could do both. How about that, Dabbundo? What a slap in the face.
I forgot how, I don't watch pregame shows very often anymore.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be making dinner last week before Miami Buffalo. And so I had it on in the background. And I forgot that pregame shows are just like, oh, this Bills player is really good, and this Bills player is really good, and this Dolphins player is tough to guard, and this Bill. Right. I'm like, they just told me how good all the players are. Like, what am I getting out of this?
Yeah, I know. And then they wear a mustache, pretend they're in the 70s, and we're supposed to, I don't know, House, when we're supposed to watch that. But
I did see the clip on the Twitter machine, whatever you call that thing, while I was watching Sunday games. My timeline popped up, and
that's the only reason I saw it.
Musburger was in there. I was like, hey, guy.
That was interesting.
That part I liked. I liked the Musburger.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, Dabbundo, robot umps, or looks like we're going to see them in 2026. So they're going to have the regular umpires calling balls and strikes, but each team is going to get 2 challenges per game to see if the call was right. This to me is ridiculous that you only get 2. I guess you get to keep them if you're right, so you could keep rolling the 2 over. Is that how it is, Dabbundo?
Yes, I love it. It's very old tennis-like, where you get the challenges. You have to use them wisely. Yeah. I'm fascinated in the inter-team politics dynamics. Like, if you're the 8 hitter, do you have the right to use a challenge? Or is it reserved for the star players? Is it reserved for hey, our team's gonna say, hey, we're only going to use ours after the 4th inning, or we're only going to use ours with runners on base. Like, there's a whole lot of game theory that comes into using these challenges and
because you have to use it right away, right? And it's not like you can get signaled.
You can't turn to the bench. You can't a quick glance at the scoreboard or get the manager's approval. It's just the pitcher and the hitter get to choose. And so, is there going to be some hothead pitcher that's really pissed off, that's going to burn his team's challenges, and then the star hitter for the team is going to get pissed at him or something? I'm figuring out how I can incorporate this into my daily life with my friends. Can I be challenge something or get mad at them in some way? So I'm excited for this.
Well, to me, it's bizarre because you do have to make the challenge right away. And then what do you find out 4 seconds later if you were right? So why are we limited to 2? If in 4 seconds we could figure out if a ball is actually a ball and a strike is actually a strike, why can't we just Why can't we just use the, have the umpire there? It's fine. They can make the calls and calls at the plate and everything. Why can't we get balls and strikes right? To me, if you're going to go this far, it seems crazy. But
It feels
also,
like
if you're going to go
on that
this
path.
crazy,
It'll happen by 2030.
Yeah. So what's next to be replaced by robotics? Bat boys 3-1, managers 7-1, grounds crew 15-1, or I put Karens, Karen spectators at 25-1. Robotic Karens, House. What do you think of that? That would be interesting.
I already don't like to go to football games. If robotic Karens are there, then that's it. Although, you know what? We're at the stage of life where we go and try and find our way into a suite anyway. So that'll really accelerate it.
House is going to be going to robotic Karens over in New Hyde Park in Nassau on his way to the Ryder Cup. So it's a nice old gentleman's establishment.
Bar. They have nicest,
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not at the point where I have the kind of cachet to be trying to get my way into suites at sporting events. We're still getting there, House. Maybe one day.
Me too. I mean, it's just beg, borrow.
House has got the
fine.
prime executive suite at the Ryder Cup on Saturday.
No, it's beg, borrow, and plead. I don't have anything.
He's actually sitting on the 18th green
with my hand out.
You'll see him.
Wow. All right. I know who we won't be sitting next to, Sister Jean, because she's retired. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really figured the very next headline I saw about Sister Jean wouldn't be that she retired. I didn't know this was going to, that was the next stage, right? She's 106. Is that right? So here's the odds I put on her. I don't know if she's opening a bait and tackle shop in Clearwater in her retirement, but how about this? Replacing Jimmy Kimmel in 2026, 16-1 odds. Would that be, is that possible? Dabbundo? Could that happen?
I could think of no better person to ask than you.
All right, this is one of the bombshells. Yes, they're in talks with.
They're right. They were supposed to be bombshells. Yeah. I don't want to make any jokes whatsoever that have to do with Sister Jean. Can't get on the wrong side of God, cuz.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She and God are on the same.
Okay,
same
so
it's a shame the program. I mean, the program's struggling right now, but like if they were to make the tournament, she'll be back. She'll unretire.
Yeah. All right, I guess my golden bachelorette joke, I shouldn't hit that then, House. I'll just stay away from it. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what freaks God out anymore. I don't know.
Great point.
All right.
Great point.
Let's do this. House, let's do it. We've gone too long. How many minutes is this? This is about 32 minutes, and we haven't talked Ryder Cup, really just breezing on about it. But Bethpage, Long Island, about 35 minutes from where I grew up. Bethpage Black, legend has it, people play like 2 holes and then they shit their pants and walk off. House, what about, I've heard both sides of this. Because I heard Mad Dog yesterday. He's like, that is ridiculous. I've played it a dozen times and it is not as daunting as everyone, So what's your take on this?
Have you played it, House?
Very good, Mad Dog. I have played it, and I'm on the same page as Mad Dog.
Okay.
It's gettable. They don't try and beat your brains in when you're just a guy showing up, from out of town, or even the locals there in Nassau County. They're not there to make people go out there and play for 5.5 hours and come away upset. It's hard.
But there is a sign, right? There's a sign on the first.
That's the famous. Yes.
What is it?
Extremely difficult
golf course for highly skilled golfers only. Yes.
Right.
That's the sign. That's the famous. And they kept the sign. They just moved it because they had to build a giant grandstand where the sign normally is.
Right. I saw that. So Sister Jean in her retirement should not attempt Bethpage Black.
She should probably not.
Okay.
House, what's color. What was the score? If you're willing to share, you willing to share a score or no?
Oh, I shot right around 90. I'm like on my number. I'm a 12 handicap.
Very respectable golf.
Okay.
Right. It's like right around my number. Had a handful of pars in there. Had some birdie putts I didn't make, and then took a couple doubles mixed in there. But it's a tremendous venue, and really, I wasn't thinking this when I put on my rewatchables hat, but I will say I think it's like Apex Mountain Ryder Cup. I think this is the apex of the Ryder Cup because, first of all, New York City, right? At least in the backdrop, and as a world city with the world coming together at this point in time, and it's very unique. This Ryder Cup distinguishes itself from others in a few important ways. First of all, the Euro team is basically the same. That hasn't happened in history. They have one player who is different, and the one player that's different has a twin. His twin played in the other one. So this
Right.
guy, Rasmus Højgaard, his brother Nikolai Højgaard, played in Rome in 2023, but Rasmus was out there. He was riding around in the cart. This year, Rasmus nipped Nikolai. Nikolai's going to be the guy in the cart. But it is extraordinarily unique for a team to show up with basically the exact same cast of characters. And so the thing for Europe is they have an advantage in terms of having a lot of prep time to plan for, who's going to play with who's comfortable with who, what's the camaraderie like, all those kinds of subjective elements, but they also have a really good analytics approach to it, and that informed their success in Rome. The other thing is this European team is far more experienced than the US team in terms of matches played. Rory McIlroy has played the most of anybody. Justin Rose has played, I think this is his 7th. Tommy Fleetwood has 4. If you just go down the line, the U.S. team has far less experience. 4 rookies for the U.S. compared to the 1 rookie for the Euro team. And the aspect of the golf course itself, it has historically been the case that home field advantage confers quite an advantage in
5 in a row, right?
Yes, exactly right. So the price for this thing is the United States is favored at minus 155. And the implied probability at minus 155 is around 61%. The Euro price right now, plus 170, implied probability of about 37%. That feels like value to me, because I think, you go through most of folks that pay attention to golf and run golf analytics, it's a very much closer to a 50-50 kind of proposition. So you have to have a very distinct point of view on whether or not this really is a home field advantage situation. And people point to these New York crowds as being a potential swing factor. Nathan Hubbard and I on the Fairway Rolling podcast tried to break that down a little bit. One thing to call to mind for everybody as we handicap this: there is a lot of hospitality going on. I mean, nephew Tony was trying to throw me under the bus with the hospitality that I'm going to find my way into, but the prices to get into this thing are astronomical. The PGA of America, which is the governing body that runs this thing, announced their prices about 14 months ago, and there was a furor across the sports world at how goddamn expensive it is to get a ticket to this thing. So if it's priced that way, what kind of New York crowd are we really getting? The price has only moved in one direction. It hasn't gone down. There aren't bargain tickets out there. And the excitement's just been building over the last couple of months here. So that's kind of one element of it. The other, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so you're saying the baby dolls will be few and far between. It's going to be corporate big wigs who have a lot of cash to spend. But to me, it's like, and I want to, so you're like Europe plus 170. The tie is plus 1,000. So if they tie and you have Europe or you have USA, you lose. To me, this is crazy because of your point. People are paying $90,000 a week for an Airbnb. How do we let this end in a tie? That's ridiculous. There needs to be a tiebreaker. Well, first on that, because I would hate for anyone to get stuck with a tie.
Well, a tie means that Europe keeps the cup, so there is a winning sort of element to it. Keeping the cup is significant.
Yeah, but you lose as a bettor. Who cares? We're not touching that cup. As bettors, why should we lose with a tie? There should be a winner for all this money that's pumped in.
Go argue with FanDuel. I
all right,
you can bet on to lift the cup. They do have odds for which team will lift the cup. One of the two teams will lift the cup.
Will relift the cup. Okay.
Yes.
You hope.
So
you never know.
Go into the yes, knocking on wood.
What if they're too tired to lift the cup? I mean, it's an exhausting weekend.
They can pass it to somebody else to
Somebody asked me that one time. They were betting soccer, and they were pretty new to betting soccer, and they bet to lift the cup. It was the World Cup final. And he goes, do they have to physically lift the trophy for me to win the bet?
Yeah. What if some idiot from the losing team runs over and just lifts the cup? And then FanDuel's got a problem, right?
Great point.
All right. So USA, if you bet it to lift the cup, minus 152, Europe plus 124. House, I gotta say, my biggest problem with your bet is that you've liked this for at least 6 months. You were talking about this at the Masters. Have you ever liked a bet for so long and actually won, right? I mean, you might have liked this in February. You were handicapping this.
The reason why my enthusiasm, and it was a small enthusiasm at the beginning of the calendar year, but the European guys that are on this team, we're winning all the goddamn events on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
So
right.
each time that one of these potential Ryder Cuppers won an event, I put a little more down on the European side at plus odds because we had Justin Rose won an event this year. Rory McIlroy won multiple events this year. Sepp Straka won multiple events this year. Like, you just go sort of down the line of that Euro side, and you find guys that were performing well on tour throughout the balance of the year. So that's really the sort of thesis for it. I mean, I still am very respectful of the home field advantage that the U.S. side enjoys. And I think that guys like JJ Spawn, who went out and won the U.S. Open at Oakmont and beat back a whole bunch of these Euro guys. Tyrrell Hatton was right there. Robert McIntyre was right there. Victor Hovland was coming down the stretch. All of those guys had a chance to win the U.S. Open. It was JJ effing Spawn who went out there and birdied the 18th hole. So if you want to, I'm very bullish on him, because one of the things about this Bethpage setup is, it's a U.S. Open venue. It's hosted a couple U.S. Opens. It's hosted most recently the PGA Championship, and it's just a giant golf course where they can grow up the rough when it's U.S. Open time, and the kind of greens that are there are identical in the type of grass to the greens at Oakmont. It kind of makes sense, right? The difference, like Pittsburgh to Long Island, it's not geographically too far apart, so they use the same type of grass. And I just think that JJ Spawn, he just showed us giant balls. So I'm bullish on him this week. I like him top rookie plus 550 on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Interesting.
Right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, now I gotta go ahead, Dabbundo. Sorry.
So I'm looking at FanDuel, and they have who will win foursomes and 4 balls. So foursomes is the alt shot, 4 balls is the best ball. Do you feel like their team, the Europeans, have a better opportunity in the foursomes than we do? Like, do you think like there's a format that benefits us versus them? Because I feel like when I see our list of guys versus theirs feels more consistent to me.
Well, it's going to feel more consistent because they played together at the last Ryder Cup and dominated in foursomes. And but there's a very curious trend line with the foursomes. For whatever reason, the home team over the last 4 editions, the home team has dominated foursomes. It feels like it shouldn't matter, but the score in that foursomes format over the last 4 editions is 24.5 to 7.5 for the home team. Which, how do you make any sense out of that? Other than like a comfort level kind of thing. But it's in this context, that like trend line feels very much at risk. I wouldn't invest very much in the US foursomes format because we just watched the Euros in Rome. They were excellent at it. So I don't know, man. I'm staying away.
Interesting. All right. Well, I already crossed off one of my props, which is Ben Griffin for I'm sorry, Ben Griffin was yours. Sorry, Dabbundo.
Ben Griffin,
take my own.
I'm in.
Yes.
Well, let me hear the case, because maybe I'll be convinced.
No, Russell Henley I had for top rookie at plus 125 because he's playing alongside Scheffler, and he's going to get the big lights under, right?
The way to play that in a correlated way is to go ahead and grab Scotty Scheffler at 3 points or more at minus 145, because if Scotty Scheffler gets 3 points or more, Russell Henley will be with him. Now, Scheffler will get 1 point. If you're a person subscribing to the idea that the best golfer in the world will win his head-to-head matchup on Sunday, you give him 1 point there. He will win 2 other points along the way, and it's reasonable to say that Russell Henley will be alongside of him for those other 2 points. So if you want Russell Henley plus money to win the rookie, then also play Scheffler at 3 or more points. That would be my recommendation.
I'll do that. I'm not going to fight you. Yeah, that's good. All right. Dabbundo, you have, I'm sorry, I stepped on your Ben Griffin pick there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ben Griffin, top wild card pick. I think that One, a friend of mine who's very into golf, who knows some things about some matchups and pairings, recommended it to me. So I'm not gonna say who it was, but I strongly respect this opinion, and so I'm going to steal that opinion and bet him to be the top wild card pick for the United States.
My only it's not pushback. My question is, that person must have a strong opinion of how much he's going to play.
Yes.
Because Patrick Cantlay counts as a wild card in this, and Patrick Cantlay is the most accomplished U.S. player, in terms of scoring. He and Justin Thomas are the two best U.S. players over, that in terms of point scoring. So you have to think that, the way that these teams have been practicing, Ben Griffin's been playing with Justin Thomas. So if they're paired together, then that kind of makes some sense. But Cantlay was by far the best player for the U.S. in Rome. And there is some undercurrent of thought that he might play all 5 sessions, that the most likely guys to play all 5 sessions are Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay, not Bryson DeChambeau, which seems weird because he's, Captain America. But if Cantlay plays all 5, then I would be worried about putting Cantlay head to head against Griffin.
Interesting.
That's all. That's just an observation. I don't know for
no,
sure.
That's all these are. These are only observations.
Yeah, until we know matchups, it's tough to say.
Yeah, there's not any other way to describe these.
Well, it's Thursday night at 4:00, Thursday afternoon at 4:00. They'll announce the matchups for Friday.
Right.
Then we'll have a little bit of something to
right. That's true. That's true. Let me
We're
ask you
going
this,
live
House.
for that, right? We do live breakdown.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm
have
happy
to.
Somebody find a sponsor. I'm there for it.
Now, along with the trend that the last 5 road teams have lost, there's another one where this hasn't been close in a while, right? So if you were to give me a margin by which Europe wins, I mean, I'm looking at these blowouts, 6, 7, 9-point wins, but in 2012, Europe won 14.5 to 13.5, and that was like the last close matchup. But the way I see it, and this is just a guess, I'm going Europe by 1 to 3 plus 370. Do you like that, or you just think this is just going to be blowout city?
I love it. I think that we are more than due for a close match, and all of the ways in which I think Europe has a slight advantage, all of that counsels in favor of a very tight match that comes down to Sunday singles. And we're going to have to be, juggling between football, which starts at 9:30 in the morning on the East Coast because of the goddamn game in Dublin, against the, am I going to watch the what is it, the Vikings and the Steelers, or am I going to watch Scotty Scheffler play John Rahm? I mean, get the F out of here. I guess
you're not going to watch either.
That's an easy choice, honestly.
I watch both.
I feel like
we're going to be doing a pregame show, so you're not watching either.
I'm not watching anything. We got a pregame show.
Well, the third option is the CBS throwback video.
House, let me ask you this.
I love that bet, cuz just to state it affirmatively and with conviction.
I like that I could offer something that anyone else adheres to, but let alone the master. House here. House, what? I was thinking of you because it's Keegan Bradley. You have captains here. It's Bradley and Luke Donald. Is this your dream managerial gig, to be Ryder Cup captain, or would you rather be the Nationals manager, or would you rather be the head coach of the Commanders?
No. By far, it's not even close. I want to be on the sideline for the Wizards. I want to put on.
Oh, really?
I want to put on a Pat Riley suit because the bar is infinitely low. This is a franchise.
The bar is 2 miles away, and you can't go. You have to sit through and watch these terrible games.
I'll be at the bar before and after the game, coaching those games. The Washington Wizards haven't won 50 games in 50 years.
Right.
They haven't had a single 50-win season since the 70s.
Wow.
Let me be that guy. I know how to dress up. I know how play. Go. Why did you rotate that? Shoot the three. That's it, man. It's like the basketball.
Really?
Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, the travel is fun. The cities they go to are all great.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm in for that. The eating is phenomenal. NBA had sideline coach. That's it for me.
All right.
I'll take an assistant. By the way, I'd be happy to be.
There's a new second row Joe in town.
That's right.
I'm your guy.
Second row Joe House.
Dabbundo, why don't you answer that question? I didn't even think I was giving you a break, house, because this is only, I know there's prep work and stuff like this, but it's over in a weekend. You want to spend the whole freaking year with the Wizards.
Oh, you
Go
kidding
right
me?
ahead. All
NBA
right.
lifestyle, I'm in, buddy. Champagning
Okay.
and campaigning. We've heard.
I don't know if
Jalen
you get
Rose told us about that.
the groupies that the actual players would you're gonna get the robotic Karens lining up for you. But
I'm
Dabbundo,
not
what would be
afraid.
your answer for that?
If I could coach anything,
Yeah, like in a manager, like yeah. I mean, this is a little different because they're player coaches, kind of with the golf.
right?
But
Tennis coach for
oh my
similar
god,
reasons. You get to
oh my
travel the
god,
world.
oh
You get to wear like a hat with like 8 different patches on it that are your sponsored because they know they're going to show you for the matches like
right.
8 times a time. Tennis would be cool because I feel like you get to travel the world. This is a similar question to like if you could date a professional athlete at any sport, which would you pick? And a lot of people like tennis was voted most popular because again the whole like
Sure.
world travel thing.
Yeah.
That would be up there for me.
Okay.
Baseball manager would be probably number 2.
Yeah.
Just because I love nerding out over bullpens and platoon matchups
Right.
and different
Spitting
random
seeds.
It
scenarios.
just takes so
Yeah.
long. You have to sit there and sit there and sit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And now with the challenges with the robot,
And if your
yeah,
team
yeah.
stinks, like there's nothing worse than a bad baseball team.
It's a long summer.
There's nothing
for
you
sure.
can do. Like you're just cooked.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there taking losses. So
I think
yeah,
Brock
baseball.
Lesnar's manager would be my answer. I don't know if that counts. Maybe I'm going off the board.
Did
a
he
little
win?
here.
Did he beat Cena?
He beat Cena and he
No
beat
way.
Sampras. I don't know. No, I don't
Both of
know.
them.
I didn't see.
And Serena.
All right, Alice. I'm sorry. Do you have any other props you like, or I mean, I
Just
know
a
you have
couple quick
million.
ones. We
Go ahead.
ran through a whole bunch on the Fairway Rolling
Yep.
podcast available now
Yeah,
on the
go
Ringer
listen to that.
Podcast Network.
Mhm.
In addition to Scotty getting the 3 points or more at -145, I like Victor Hovland at 2 points or more at -130. He has played in 2 consecutive Ryder Cups, all 5 of the available matches, and there is something in his particular makeup that the Euro analytics like. So I like this, the idea of him being out
Mhm.
there. And on that same note with Hovland, there are matchups available. You can do head-to-head in who will win more points. I have Victor Hovland over Cam Young. Cam Young is favored at -148, Hovland +110. I like the idea of Hovland at getting plus odds against the guy who's never played in a single Ryder Cup. Cam Young's advantage is he at one point set the course record at Bethpage Black. He won a tournament at this venue when he was an amateur, and he grew up in New York. So we'll have all of New York
Yep.
behind him. But cuz you'll remember this, that man just eats a banana and walks right down the fairway, immune to any kind of support.
Yeah.
The baby doll tried to give him vociferous support at the
Yes.
Masters, and there was nobody else around. And Cam Young, the banana eater, wanted nothing to do with anybody, any kind of support from anybody. So
Yes, and that was a
coloring my
good
bet.
test for the New York loudmouths that he's going to be having to endure.
He was
this
literally
weekend.
a New York loudmouth.
Exactly. Okay, good, Cam. Good for you, and good for
Cam Young,
all right.
probably a 4 balls player, not a 4 sums player too, right? Like you think.
Seems like that makes a lot more sense.
Oh,
Although he
yeah.
and Bryson both play the same. There's a ball prototype. They're both giant hitters. So if they wanted to do a foursome with Bryson and Cam Young, that would get a lot of people fired up because you'd have Captain America and the King of New York with those two together. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them paired up. But I still like Hovland.
One more thing, House. If Scotty Scheffler wasn't in this tournament, was getting like knee surgery or just got arrested again, whatever, how would the odds have changed? Are they still favored?
The tiniest bit. It'd be in the tic-tac zone. It would
Really?
be like US -115,
Okay.
Euro, -105.
Really?
I mean, just because
To lift the trophy. Yeah,
it's Rory and John Rahm, on the Euro side, with and Justin Rose, the experience of those guys. Tommy Fleetwood went 5-0 in Paris. Like they just have a lot of experience on the Euro side.
All right. Just a question. All right. So yeah, if you want more of this fairway rolling, that's where you got to go. Listen to House, listen to Nathan. They will nerd out for hours and hours and hours. Speaking of nerding out, Dabbundo, it's your turn. Major League Baseball. Mets Cubs, what a comeback. Down 6-1. Season's
shame.
turned around. We got a game in hand. over the Reds. Although now the Diamondbacks are creeping up, but we have the tiebreaker. I say we, I mean the Mets over the Diamondbacks, but
No,
not
you
the
don't.
Reds.
You don't have the
Not over the
Diamondbacks over the
D-backs?
Diamondbacks. No,
Over the Giants, right.
who have been eliminated.
Right. Okay, great. It's always good to have a tiebreaker over the eliminated teams. Shit, that's right. Okay. So I'm looking
It's
real
actually
quick.
it's this crazy triumvirate where the D-backs need to be tied with the Mets or in a three-way tie, they would win. But if they're in a
Yeah.
tie with just the Reds, they're out. And the
Right.
Reds
Okay.
have the tiebreaker over the Mets and the D-backs. But if it's a three-way tie, they're out.
Yes, exactly. And
Which is
so if you look
insane.
at it,
Yeah.
odds wise, the Mets are minus 164, which I think is way high to make the playoffs. Like since, they're really a half a game up. And they have their young arms going. The D-backs are plus 610, Dabbundo, to make the playoffs, and the Reds are plus 245. Now the Diamondbacks still have the Dodgers to take care of. I don't know. Does that anything jump out at you there?
The Snakes are alive.
Wow.
House, we talked about this on Monday. They were 11-1 on Monday. They're down to 6-1 after winning one baseball game.
Wow.
The Dodgers bullpen is completely cooked. I mean, they came in yesterday. Again, Ohtani throws a dominant first 6 innings. Bullpen comes in, flipped the switch. They gave up 4 runs, blew the game. Snakes scored 2 off Tanner Scott in the 9th to flip that game. He is questioning his entire existence in the sport of baseball publicly with the media. And now 2 straight games here. Yes, like the Dodgers have the better starting pitcher in both games, and they're the favored on the road because they're the better team. But if you can't get outs into the 6th inning, the Snakes are always alive, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Snakes are going to do this. They have San Diego this weekend. But San Diego's not going to pitch Nick Pivetta or Michael King because they're going to be in the wild card. So they're going to face the AAA pitching of the Padres. And the Mets, look, the Marlins are fighting. I mean, they're not a good baseball team, but they are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also pitching Sandy this weekend. So the Mets will not have Nolan McLean for the weekend series. I feel like 6-1, they're still the best bet on the board, man. Snakes alive.
House, he's right. He's right. I don't like that he keeps saying snakes alive. It bothers me a little bit, but the plus 610 might be a way to, soothe the pain here. Shit, these Mets. I
mean,
don't,
they're not done. You know
what I don't want? I don't want
really
them tied with
games.
the Diamondbacks going into Sunday, and then I have to really watch that, their game for no reason, really.
Football,
you know what
baseball,
I mean?
Ryder Cup.
Right.
Yeah, you can't have that. It's too much.
Guardians, Tigers, that's too much too. I mean, we talked about this. It was even worse than this, but they had a 10-game lead, the Tigers, September 3rd, this month, 3 weeks ago. They had a 10-game lead, and now they are behind by a game to Cleveland because Skubal lost. Started off strong, then it just went to shit. And Detroit really has to win the last 2. This is going to be an epic collapse, House, because they could also get caught in the wild card race too. And then that will be that. I'm looking at these playoff odds. This is, are you interested in this Tigers collapse? They're still minus 470 to make the playoffs. I guess.
What are they to miss?
To miss is plus 340. I mean, this is a team that can't put a win together. So that would be nice too.
They do have the tiebreaker with Houston. So
So that's it, right?
That might be their saving grace, but
yeah,
they got to win a game at some point. They haven't won a game in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to kind of win. I'm trying. Let me see. Is there divisions?
Their GM, they completely botched the deadline. That was what happened here. I mean, their big deadline addition was Charlie Morton, who, by the way, is no longer on the Tigers. They just DFA'd him. Right.
Yeah, you think they'd keep him just to save face there. Yeah,
that's bad.
They got, their big bullpen upgrades have all been kind of mediocre.
And you could bet these. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
You could bet the series correct score. Now Guardians already have a game to sweep. That would be plus 190. To win 2-1 is minus 106. That seems fair. And the Tigers winning the next 2 would be plus 410. I don't know, man. I think as far as the division went, that went out the window last night.
Last night felt like the dream crusher.
Yeah.
Where Skubal's on the mound, he dominates for 5 innings. They've got the lead. They're like, all right, we win this first game. We got a 2-game lead. We're going to be okay. But then he blows up in that 6th inning where he throws the ball over his head out of the infield. Then they have the guy gets hit by the ball. The Guardians score 3 runs without the ball leaving the infield. that feels like the dream crusher to me. And now their bullpen's cooked going into tonight. Jack Flaherty on the mound. No thanks. Anybody want to loan me a few $100 for my Tigers division ticket? Because I spent the money already.
No, I have the same thing. I have exactly the same thing. I have like plus 250. I don't know what it is, but it's boy, was that looking good for a minute.
I said it on Monday, Sal. I already spent the money.
Yeah, he did say that.
It's gone.
Yep.
Right. Well, House is going to get it back for us with the Hovland props and all this and Spawn and all this stuff. All right, let's talk college football.
At the Ryder Cup. Are you rooting for Europe now? Like you're there?
No.
Okay,
I'm rooting. Sure. No, I'm definitely rooting for the United States of America. Let there be no doubt. This is a rational, irrational betting show. So if I'm just trying to give odds that feel like to me, from a rational bettor perspective, the implied probabilities are a little out of whack for my.
There you go. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's talk about those probabilities in college football. Another great slate here. You have Penn State and Oregon. House is going to speak to that in a minute. Georgia, Alabama, Saturday night. It's a fun one. They talk about these fall weddings. This is not where, right? This is not the weekend to have the fall wedding. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon, Ole Miss, and LSU are the big games. I am going to, I like Alabama to bust out again in a losing way. 1-9 last 10 against Georgia. And I think Kirby Smart gets the W. I would say 32-23. I like Stockton to have a big game. Gunner, 300 plus and 2 scores against Tennessee. I think it's a similar type game. And also Georgia can grind, right? They're top 5 in time of possession too. So you could see long stretches without Bama touching the ball there. So that's my pick there. Let's go over our best bets here. House, we talked about that Penn State Oregon game. Oh, poor Archie's going to be so upset, my son, if your prediction comes to fruition here. You like Penn State minus 166.
Yeah, I'm just playing him on the money line. I will not lay points with James Franklin as a head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. But this is just a tough one for Oregon. Oregon's 4-0, and they've covered 2 of their 4. Penn State 3-0, haven't covered a single game. They've all been at home. The line is 3.5 is what I'm seeing right now. I'm not laying the hook. I'm not doing that. But I think Penn State, just based on, really the priors, they returned 16 starters. The quarterback, Drew Aller, is like, he's Big Ten solid. And I think, for who this Penn State team wants to be, that the spot is tough for Oregon. It's the first start for that Oregon quarterback, Dante Moore, going up against one of college football's very best defenses at Penn State in that stadium. Just win outright. This is the last time. This is James Franklin. I'm putting you on notice. If you choke this game away, this is the last time I'll bet on Penn State, as long as you're or any team that you coach for the rest of my life.
So it's interesting with the Mateer news, the Oklahoma quarterback going out. It's really the Heisman Trophy race is really shaking up. Fernando Mendoza actually was the favorite going into before the Mateer news. Indiana quarterback plus 850, but Dante Moore, who you mentioned, is second at plus 1100. Down the list of ways, House, is Drew Aller at plus 2500. That could maybe be a nice bet there, rather than giving the 3.5 or the 166 or something, because he will close the gap in a very weird Heisman race this year. So, but you're right. I'm going with Oregon. I'm a little bit of a homer here, 26-22. The great thing about college football is bet the trends until they prove you wrong. So James Franklin's like 4-20 against top 10 opponents.
You're right.
So
but
I'm just going
what
to keep
about
riding.
I don't have the number in front of me, but wasn't last year with this new Big Ten expansion, like the teams traveling 3 time zones were terrible?
Yeah. Is that 3 time zones? Wait, what?
It would
West?
be. It is. I think it's 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is 3.
Yeah,
all
like
right.
the West Coast going east and the East Coast going west. Like it was an outsized home field advantage, which does make sense. I mean, these college kids are not used to, like, it's not like the NFL. Where
Sure.
They've been doing this for years. So that's the one thing that would scare me. Penn State has not looked good. A lot of questions about their offense. People thought it was going to take a leap because they actually are supposed to have receivers this year, but it hasn't. This leap that people speak of, it's not in the room with us. They've been pretty mediocre offensively to start. So I don't know though, because like both of these teams have kind of played nobody,
Right.
like nobody with a pulse. So and Oklahoma State doesn't count as a team with a pulse. So I don't know, but should be interesting.
All right. You have a, you know what? Let's go to your best bet there, Dabbundo. This is a weird line. You would think Ohio State, the rest of the way, a double-digit favorite, even against decent teams. And I'm not sure Washington even counts in that category. But 8.5-point spread. Ohio to Washington, is that 3? How many time zones?
It is 3 time
2?
zones.
Oh my God!
You
Look
front
at you.
ran me.
Holy crap! They should demand this game is played in New Mexico, so it's only 2. But all right, but you like Washington plus the points.
First ever road start for Mr. Sayin, and a lot of sharp people I respect have bet this line down. It was 10.5. Now it's 8.5. It's trending toward 8, 7.5. I think one with the road trip thing, and two, I think it's very clear, and you saw this in the Texas game, that they are kind of playing with the kid gloves a little bit with the quarterback. They're not asking him to do a ton. They're relying on their defense. They're trying to win ugly and get through this, and maybe they'll expand the offense as the year goes on. And for that reason, like as a big road favorite here against a team that can compete with them in the trenches, I like the Huskies catching 8.5 at home.
All right. Good one. I'm going Ole Miss minus 1.5 over LSU. This is the Magnolia Bowl, not the grittiest of titles, I would say. They could redo some of these, honestly. This is football, for crying out loud. But I was talking about this with Tate yesterday. LSU, all of a sudden, without an impressive win, right? We're not counting Louisiana Tech or Louisiana AT&T, whoever they played, obviously. But Clemson is non-competitive.
They won at Clemson.
Well, that's not big, not important. They can't beat anyone else. They beat Florida too. Not good, really bad. So now they head to Oxford. The coach's daughter, house, you would love this, is dating the LSU linebacker, and really just publicized it this week. And so this is Lane Kiffin's daughter. And now people are saying she could be a spy. This all could be, I don't know, maybe not on the up and up. You like this stuff though, right?
I'm legally prohibited from commenting in public on anything having to do with college girls.
I gotcha. All right. Much like the Ryder Cup, the home team has won the last 5 meetings in this matchup. Home team now is LSU. Lane Kiffin's team, up-tempo offense. They scored just under 45 a game. It could be Austin Simmons or Trinidad Chambliss. At quarterback doesn't really matter. Chambliss was going to be Simmons. He's their guy. He's their leader. But Chambliss leads in like several SEC passing categories. So not sure what decision they're going to make. I'm not sure it matters. 30-19. I'm going to go Ole Miss Rebels. You guys have a
one thing.
wild. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you just said like the Ole Miss quarterback, whoever they put in there just goes off, right? Shouldn't that be a red flag for Jaxson Dart?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right. Like this whole thing
should be one of them.
Like no matter what quarterback Lane brings into that offense, they seem to do really well. We're just like, plug and play. And now we're going to like Jaxson Dart is supposed to be the big, that almost makes me like the Chargers more.
You know what the most crimson red flag I saw with Jaxson Dart is he couldn't figure out the easy pass, and he just kept racking up tickets in the off season, and didn't really care to figure it out either.
I didn't even
feel
see
like
this. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it takes a special kind of smarts that I don't know, to be able to negotiate the easy pass and getting a.
I know a kid in college who was really crushing on this girl who was in the Midwest, and so he drove all the way from the East Coast to the Midwest to see her, and then just didn't have an easy pass on his car.
How much?
And like just kind of ignored the easy pass situation, and so after fees, it was over $1,500.
Nice. Cost more than the marriage, the wedding.
Well, I mean,
they're
5 times would have cost a fly.
I love it. Hey, we do this Wednesday wild prediction. Simmons likes this part of the show. House, you had a gigantic, what they call a greasy money line parlay last week, which I think the Packers get in the way of that. Or multiple teams?
We talked it through, and you know, God forbid I actually put something on the Browns money line. I mean, it went according to script. I knew that was the one that felt the riskiest. Like it's so easy. Just go ahead and bet the Browns money line, because the parlay only paid plus 137. Browns money line was in the 300s, like probably plus 320, something like that. Anyway.
It's fun to complain about bet aches and bad beats and everything, but it really at this point is all our fault because we have access to cash outs and hedges and stuff like that.
Great point.
But it is fun to complain.
It is.
But,
it is fun to complain.
What you got this week?
I just want to preserve a public notice right away before I get to my dumb parlay for the week. The obvious teaser, the most obvious teaser, I honestly, it feels like in a decade. Just be
Ooh.
careful. It's it's the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Green Bay Packers. That line is 6.5 right now, and the LA Chargers are 6.5 at the New York Giants. Just be careful. It like America, please. That teaser that brings both of those two teams down. And I think I don't think it's more productive to do a money line parlay between it's not between the Chargers and
right.
So
It's two road teams. That's the only hesitation, but it is the third week in September. Weather shouldn't be an issue, and really nothing should be an issue.
It's not going to be an issue in Dallas. There's no weather issue. It's a Sunday night. And the and the Packers own Dallas. That's just a public, my public service announcement. That's all. I just wanted to make sure as you look at the week 4 slate, the thing you want to do, you will want to go to the book and take an amount of money to catch up on everything you lost in week 3. Please don't do it. Please be responsible. That's all.
I don't mind putting that second leg as your anchor for a lot of bets. I don't see Dallas, especially with Green Bay losing last week. And,
I know. Everybody's going to have the same sentiment.
America's bet. Green Bay minus 6.5.
There you go.
I bet you there's a lot of Ringer 107 love for that bet.
Well, I just
America's tease. How about that?
That's it. This is why I'm trying to do public service announcements with some responsible betting. Here's an irresponsible bet. And it is my Wild Wednesday offering. We're calling this the blowout bounce back against the spread parlay. Last week we had 3 teams lose by 30 points or more. Each of them are underdogs coming into this week 4. Underdogs over the last 25 years coming off of a 30-point loss. 115.77 and 8 against the spread, 60% that cashes. So why not just put them all together in a parlay? The Saints are catching 16.5 at Buffalo. The Falcons are catching 1.5 at home against my beloved Washington Commies. And the Bengals are catching 7.5 at Denver. The 3 of those together, if you're playing the spread, plus 596, a preposterous number. Now, the trend I just offered says 60%. So 2 out of these 3 is going to hit, but I don't know which 2. If I knew that, I wouldn't be here with you 2 guys.
Just tell us which 2. Come on, tell us.
Well, I am going to play the
House
Falcons.
Is giving away our 107 picks.
I prefer the Falcons and the Bengals, which means that one of those is a dead loser.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of dead losers, these Saints, I mean, you're banking on a Spencer Rattler touchdown in the 4th quarter, I think.
It's one dumb touchdown, basically.
I don't know.
Isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. Dabbundo, soccer, EPL.
Yeah, Liverpool wins every game in the 93rd minute. It's pretty amazing. They've won all of their Premier League games so far, but their underlying metrics say that they're just a teeny bit overrated to start the season. Their defense has had some cracks. Mo Salah's not been as elite as he usually is. Ugo Ekitike suspended after taking his shirt off, getting a second yellow card when he rescued Sal's bet on Tuesday in the League Cup. So I'm going to call an upset here. These 2 teams did play already in the Community Shield. It was a very even game. Now they're doing it at Selhurst Park, at Crystal Palace. The Eagles will fly. Not those Eagles, but the mighty Eagles of Crystal Palace. 3-1 to pull off an upset of Liverpool on Saturday morning.
I don't mind it if those Eagles fly. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go back to American football. Jets and Giants, both. Now, you'll have to wait to see if this pays out. Jets, Giants, both under 3.5 wins. I talked about this with Simmons. When was the last time these 2 had such a bad year, such a bad start? Well, it seems like every year. But you can get, if you go under 3.5 for both, that's plus 1063. House. Will I ever be allowed back in New York, place where I was born and raised? If I bet this, I think I will. The Jets are going to be favored against the Panthers, the Browns, and at the Saints. The Giants are going to be favored at the Saints, and maybe that's it. Good thing they both play the Saints. Otherwise, this would be a slam dunk.
I think the Saints might be a bet next week.
That's the one? Yeah. There you go.
Well, that's one. That's one win.
There you go.
That's fine.
No, I'm saying the Saints might beat the Giants next week.
Oh, sure. It's 50-50.
I'll see what
plus
the spread
1063. We got one more pick for you. We got 3 more combined, but 1 more each. We'll do that on Wednesday play of the day. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, Wednesday play of the day. We were 2 for 3 last week. House, you had how'd this go?
I had
the Mercury.
The Val Kilmers.
Right, you had the Val Kilmers to cover. I had the Mercury. Those both won. The bundle, I think you had like the Dodgers, Phillies. That
over
game
8.
stayed under.
Yeah, it was like 5-1. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll let you start off. You're hitting the total again. And
another baseball total. Yeah. Milwaukee, San Diego under 8 runs, -114. Dylan Cease has cost me a lot of money this year. I'll be honest. Hand up. I bet him a lot. I have him in fantasy. He blew a start at the end of the season that cost me my playoff matchup, or contributed to costing me my playoff matchup. But I continue to think that he will eventually find it and has the stuff to dominate a lineup like Milwaukee. And on the other side of this, Milwaukee's kind of mixing and matching their way through lineups right now because they're kind of just biding their time until the season ends. But I like Chad Patrick a lot more than the market does here. I think this total should be 7.5. So little edge for me, taking some under 8 runs, Milwaukee, San Diego.
All right. I'll jump in here too because I have a baseball game, as you do, House. But I'm going to go Red Sox -142 over the Blue Jays. This division matchup right now is over. They're 4 out, the Red Sox are, with 5 left. So they're chasing the Blue Jays, but they're not going to catch them. But they're still hoping to hang on to that second wild card spot. Right now, the Tigers or Cleveland plus Houston is chasing them. They still have a little bit of work to do, and they've won 3 out of 4. Now it's Garrett Crochet versus Max Scherzer. Crochet had a strong outing earlier in the year versus Toronto. 7 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. Scherzer coming off a hilarious start. 2/3 of an inning, 7 earned runs. And even besides that, Dabbundo, he hasn't had a quality start in over a month. Bo Sox take this one 7-3. I probably should do the run line, but I'm only going to go -142. House, we're all on the diamond today.
Yeah, well, that's all that we have out there action-wise. At least I can't play the exotic soccer stuff.
Yeah.
Houston Astros to win on the money line against the receivership Athletics. The line is -132. Now it's moved, so this is concerning me. Somebody is betting on these Sacramento A's. I don't know who or why. The A's won yesterday, which has the Astros in a very precarious position. The Astros can make the playoffs if they win all 5 of their remaining games. It starts with tonight with Hunter Brown on the mound. He has been an absolute stud horse. Who knows how the hell he'll perform in the Sacramento minor league receivership ballpark that the team plays in. I don't know the answer to that, but the Astros season is on the line tonight. They must play this game as though it is a playoff game, because it is. I like them with their stud horse on the mound at -132.
There you go. All right, listen, let's all do this because we've given the public a lot. Let's give ourselves something. We'll leave the podcast here, and go watch the Nationals finish off the Braves. That'd be nice, House. Your team leading 2-0 in the 4th. Let's do it.
I'm more James Wood home runs. I don't even know if he's playing, but I want more James Wood home runs.
There you go. Long Island native, James Wood. There you go.
I have a current bet on a Danish soccer team that's up 1-0.
Oh, you do? We got to get out of here.
Best of luck.
We got to get out of here. This has been a major
I have a Danish to
Dabbundo.
eat. Let's go.
All right. All right. So that's
Michelin
it.
1-0 early.
From Danish to Danish, Dabbundo and House, and I'm Sal. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York